Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am Mehreen Kiani and I am bringing you a new episode of Breaking the Barriers. Today we have a special guest, Hasan Zahid Chaudhary from House of Elaan, who is Assistant Finance Manager and a financial expert who is going to tell us about finance and accounts. How are you, Hasan?
Assalamu alaikum, Mehreen. How are you? Thank you for having me today here on this show. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Hasan, tell us about yourself. First, introduce the audience about yourself.
All right, I'll be introducing myself. Basically, you've already introduced my name. My name is Hasan Zahid Chaudhary. So, professionally, I work in the field of finance. Currently, I am working in the House of Elaan as an assistant manager finance. I've been overlooking 2 construction projects for the last 2 years. Before that, I was in a tax consultancy firm. And going back into my academic background, I did my matriculation from the educators. Then I moved to the PCIT, Punjab College of Information and Technology, that's situated in Rawalpindi. I did my intermediate from FSC, pre-engineering basically, from Punjab College. Then I moved to CMA, which is basically my core degree, Chartered Management Accountancy, and that's it. And
so you always wanted to become a financial expert, or there were some other, expertise in you as well?
No, not always. I wouldn't say this was my dream to become a financial expert. Basically, when I started my career, I joined IST. I got in the batch of an electrical engineering, but I took a few courses in electrical engineering, but I left IST after a year. I thought that it was not meant for me, the electrical engineering. Then I moved towards the CMA and I pursued my career in the finance.
Okay, now tell us about your career journey. Say that how you came to House of Elaan and what is House of Elaan about, and tell us about it.
Alright, basically I started my professional career from a tax consultancy firm that is situated in F11 Markaz, basically in the Olympus Mall. I worked there for a year. They were solely focused on tax consultancy and bookkeeping services. So I started my career from there. Basically, I was a CMA intern back then. I worked there for almost a year. After then, I started applying because I wanted to switch jobs. So I got in the field of real estate industry. I got a job offer from the House of Elaan, Elaan Marketing, way back in 2020. I've been working here for almost 3 years now. I have looked various construction projects and different aspects of finance in the House of Elaan for the last few years.
Okay. Now everyone, faces some kind of hurdles, some kind of issues, barriers in the life, in career, in personal or professional life. So what barriers you have faced in your professional career, and you want to share them about those?
Yes, I'll share them with you. I'll go back a little. I think into my academic background, I wasn't fond of studying. I know myself. I was more inclined towards sports. So I wanted to play a lot. So that I did.
What you wanted to play a lot?
Actually, I was more into cricket and basketball. At college level, I've played a lot of basketball as well. Right now, I've put on some weight, but back then I was.
You have that height factor also.
Yes, I have.
Plus point for your.
Usually basketball players, yes, they are quite tall. Yes,
so you were good at it.
Yes, I was quite good at it. I just told you that I played at college level. So, but I was not able to pursue it as a career, of course. So, again, coming back to the barriers that I faced professionally. Basically, my degree is CMA, a Chartered Management Accountant. So, basically, in terms of finance, if you have some sort of accreditation or a certification in finance, you won't be facing a lot of troubles getting in at the entry level jobs or at intermediate level jobs. So basically, I think it's been a smooth ride for me personally, and I've been lucky enough to join organizations that have been accommodating and also helped me gain my professional experience as well.
Okay, now tell us about CMA and tell the viewers and youth about it. What is this degree about, and what what kind of benefits you can get after having this degree?
Actually, there are quite a few certifications in finance nowadays, but usually Pakistanis, these people, they are only inclined towards CAs.
Yes, chartered
Yes,
accountancy.
chartered accountancy. Basically, yes, I would say chartered accountancy is superior to CMA in
Okay.
some sorts, and it's superior to ACCA even especially in Pakistan. If we go abroad, then I don't think that we will be having a lot of discrepancies in these certifications. But in Pakistan, there is some difference between them. So basically, people do not know much about CMAs. Basically, it's an Institute of Cost Management Accountants.
Okay.
It's situated in H8. From where you can give your professional modules and papers to when you clear them out, you get the certification and you become an associate member of the organization.
Okay. Now, talking about the financial issues which our country is facing, so what is the role of international and national organizations for financial assistance to Pakistan, and what is the role of our national level organizations? What are they doing for it?
Personally, I would say, from my experience, which is very limited at the moment, but I would say that Pakistan is facing a lot of financial and economic crisis at the moment. Main reason being that we did not have a long-term economic plan.
Yes.
Every country, even in our neighboring countries or in the Western societies as well, every country that has excelled in the world has gone through a specific phase where they implied some activities and some procedures into their economic system, and they went about those procedures. They followed them for almost a decade or more than a decade. If you pursue a specific activity for more than or a specific procedures that alter your economic direction, if you pursue them for more than a decade, then I think it starts to change, or it starts to I would say it starts to change those economic indicators, especially at the micro level and at the macro level economics. Pakistan unfortunately wasn't able to pursue those directions for a longer duration. Personally, I would say that if a finance division of Pakistan or the Ministry of Finance, they should give at least a 5-term or a 10-year long-term
Long term.
plan, so that the macro and micro indicators numbers could go up and the economic trickle-down effect could go into effect.
Okay. Now, we all know that we are still facing the after effects of COVID, and what that affected, especially real estate industry, the COVID-19. How did it affect the real estate companies, and what was the role of it in it?
COVID basically had a drastic effect on the world economy. Uh, there is no doubt about it that a lot of the countries, even the developed countries, went into recession,
Yes.
and the third world countries were hit very badly due to COVID, because the world stopped for a moment, not for a moment, for a couple of months.
Yes.
So the transit was also not in place. So a lot of countries got hit. Their GDPs, their growth, their exports, their imports, everything was affected. So COVID did have a drastic effect on the world economy. Basically, a couple of years back, almost 2 years back, even in G7 summit, the world's 7 strongest economies put in a couple of trillion of dollars in the economy so that they could boost them up, and the world could get out of the recession.
Yes. So, what was the effect of COVID-19 on real estate market?
Basically, especially I'm going to talk about Pakistan. They used the real estate industry very well. They used it to jumpstart the economy, especially in the face of COVID. I think China did the same thing. They put in almost $600 billion into their real estate company when the COVID was in top. So they use it. Basically, a lot of industries are related to it, and it can kind of create a continuous motion in the economy, because almost a dozen industries are related to it, and it also got played, or it got better because of the amnesty schemes provided by the governments. So
Okay.
it created a lot of inflows into the economy. Basically, a country like Pakistan, it's not fully documented. economic wise or financially. There's a lot of undocumented economy as well, and I think it's almost equal to our whole GDP, which is currently at $280 billion at the moment. But I think that undocumented economy through amnesty schemes basically are specified grants given by the governments, so that specific inflows which are usually black money or undocumented economy, that they can come into the white money phase, and they can be documented, and there is a very little penalty or a very few taxes on them. So it's a good way to bring in inflows and to create a continuous movement in the economy.
Okay. Now, tell us about your company, House of Elaan, where it is standing right now in Pakistan, and what do you think that the major difference is there in between other companies and your company, and what do you think?
I think House of Elaan, aka Elaan Marketing, I think it's one of the biggest real estate company in Pakistan at the moment, especially in the Twin Cities. I would say they are doing over a dozen projects currently. What differs them from the other real estate companies is their sheer commitment, determination, and will to their customers. Basically, they are very keen and determined to perform very well, and I think they have very in some cases I would say have unorthodox methods to get their job done, but I think they get their job done, and I think that's important.
Okay, so tell us about it. What is the hierarchy? How many departments are there, and what benefit our people from who want to work over there? What benefit they can get out of it? Students, especially, do you have any services for the students, or what kind of jobs you are providing over there, and which specialized degrees should be there for applying in it?
Basically, there are a lot of departments, as there are usually in a corporate or in any organization. So it's basically the same for Elaan Marketing. There's a finance department, there's a procurement department, there's a engineers team, there's HR, there's an IT department. I'm sorry if I skipped any, but I think it's like 5 or 6 departments there. So about the students, you asked about the students. Yes, there are special internship programs for the students. Mostly they are in the finance and in the IT department. Basically, we have a whole social media team. There's a whole software house type of stuff in Elaan Marketing. So yes, there is a lot of scope for students if they apply well. And if you I'm sorry, you also asked about the degrees. I think they should be specified to their specific fields. And I think if the opportunity comes up, and you should grab it in Elaan Marketing, because it's a good place to work in.
Okay, so you are leading a team, or what is your role in House of Elaan? Tell us about it. Elaborate your role in House of Elaan as a financial assistant manager. So
basically, I work as a assistant manager finance. So I do have a couple of associates that are working under me, and as my designation suggests, I work under the manager. So hierarchy goes like, there's a director finance, then there's a manager, then there's a assistant manager finance, and then of course there are associates. So basically, I've been working as an assistant manager finance for almost 1.5 years now. I've been working on a couple of projects of Elaan Marketing. They're construction projects basically. So I basically look over anything that goes about those two projects, whether it may be receivables, payments, or their trial balances, and whatever that is associated with finance. And apart from that, I've also worked in their payroll and a lot of feasibility reports as well.
okay, now can you tell the audience about your upcoming activities in House of Elaan, and what are they up to? What are the upcoming activities over there?
Basically, I think there's an expo coming, although it's not associated with finance particularly, but I would say that there's an expo coming in the month of July. So basically it will be with the cooperation of Elaan Marketing. It will be associated, I think the venue is Park China Center. So a lot of real estate companies will be there, and a lot of people will be there usually whenever there is an expo at Park China Center. So it does attracts clients or customers or peoples. They do come there to visit. So I think yes, that's one of the big things that's coming in the next month.
Okay. Now, tell that do you think you are at a right place and you chose a right, path at that time, and you chose a right, it was your right decision
I
for,
I personally believe that life goes on.
yes.
It doesn't have to be right or wrong at the moment. I just went with the flow at the moment. So I wasn't, if I were to prioritize my companies or the places that I want to apply, I don't think that I would have landed here. But that's life. You don't always get to choose. Not that that I did not choose it. Matlab, I did apply at different organizations, but I got a call from Elaan Marketing. I got calls from other organizations as well, but I thought that it would be a better place to start. So I started my career here, and I haven't looked back ever since.
So, what are your future plans? Do you want to study more in, you know, in this financial management that you are doing? What you want to do? You want to pursue your career in it, and what you want to do?
Uh, yes, personally, I do want to pursue another certification, finance certification accreditation. It's basically called CFA, Certified Financial Analyst. But I would say that after doing CMA, that it has been a long and hard fought journey for me. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not quite fond of studying, but still I went
Okay.
for the certification. So yes, I think that I do wanna go for CFA as well. But again, I would say that it has been a long and a hard fought battle when I got this CMA.
So, what do you think that how can what should government do for overcoming this financial crisis which Pakistan is facing, and what are your views on it?
I think there are a lot of remedies that need to be done. There are a lot of steps that need to be taken, especially by our planning and finance ministries, because there is a lot of unrest in Pakistan economic situation at the moment. I think uh, continuously we're going, the trends and the graphs they are going downwards. The Pakistani rupee is devaluating. If
Inflation.
yes, inflation is also there, but inflation, yes, ADP report also reports almost 35 to 40% of monthly inflation. ADP is basically Asian Development Bank. They and Moody's and companies like these, they give out their reports and about the progress of a country's economic situation. But I personally believe that the major thing that's hitting us is our external financial debt that is piling up. It's more than 135 billion, and I think we owe more than 30 billion to China in our $30 billion that I mean external loans to China. So I think that we need to stop our currency devaluation, and we need to put up more reserves. We need to work on our exports as well. We are very import oriented economy. We need to work on that. We need to cut down our imports so that our budget deficit goes down. Only then we will be in a place so that we can negotiate our contract, our loaning contract from the IMF. Basically, if you heard the news nowadays, we are also in a bit of a bind at the moment in terms
Okay.
of getting loan from the IMF.
Okay. IMF has played a lot of role in, financial assistance. So tell us about it. That how will we overcome? Will our country be able to overcome all these issues
IMF
sooner?
basically IMF basically gives you a limited supply of money, the things that you are facing in your deficit, but they do give you a precise set of measurements and procedures that you need to follow in their loaning plan, in their loaning scheme, so that you can alter or change your economic indicators for the betterment of the people. I would say for the betterment of the country, for the sake of stats. So we need to follow a specified procedure. I think even in our neighboring countries, some of them they used to have IMF continuous procedure loans. They did apply for Pakistan. Pakistan is still, I am unfortunately applying for IMF loans. I think
Okay.
India also did, but I think in the early 2000s India left IMF plans because they implemented their procedures to the very best in their economic system, and they swayed from their previous paths, and they developed such procedures in the economic system. that their numbers got up, their GDP got better, their per capita income got better, so they were able to get those numbers up and their budget deficit got down, so they did not need any external debt financing from IMF. So after that, India did not look back. Even in India, and there are other countries as well, they did go for IMF loans before, but now they don't go for it because they have worked on their procedures. Now the issue with Pakistan, I would say, is that they do not have a long-term economic plan. Ministry of Finance and Planning, they should be having a 5-year term contract planning. They should work on their goals, their aims, that where they want to be, where they want our economy to be within 5 years or within 10 years from now on. But unfortunately, due to some unrest in our governments as well, we were not able to do so. So I think even now is it's not too late. Even if we work today on a long-term plan and we follow that plan, we can get out of the IMF loan scheming and this external debt factor. But we need to work very precisely on those specific factors that is going to grant us that access.
Now, Hasan, we'll ask Hasan about what he sees, that where he sees his company in next 5 years, and how House of Elaan can develop in next 5 years, and where he sees his company developing in coming years. So, Hasan.
So basically, Pakistan has been a real estate oriented company for the last couple of years, especially last few governments have granted specified amnesties to the real estate industry so that the money can come in and there is a continuous movement in the economy. So I think recently, but I think that IMF did put some thresholds or restrictions on the amnesty scheme so that the black money that is converted into the white money via real estate, that can be done via specified resources so that they can be turned into a documented economy as well. Going further, and I think going further towards Elaan marketing, I think it's performing very well, given the fact that Pakistan is economically struggling at the moment. But I think Elaan marketing is performing very well under these circumstances, and I think if they go about their business as they are right now, and they stick to their determination, commitment, and will, then I think they will be performing very well in the upcoming future years as well.
Okay. Do you see their projects growing in next field, because there are many projects which are under construction? So, do you see these projects growing at a fast pace or at a very very?
Overall, the whole world, I think, is in recession at the moment, and I think Pakistan is no exception in that moment. Economically, we are in a kind of a bind at the moment, but I think real estate industry has been doing very well for the last few years. But due to these economic recessions, I think a slowing down process does come into existence even in the real estate industry. But I think Elaan Marketing is doing pretty well as per their projects. They have delivered a couple of projects, and there are I think more than a dozen ongoing projects, and I think they are going very well about their business.
Okay. Now, at last, I want you to tell a message to a youth, young people, or the viewers which are watching our show, the listeners, that what kind of motivational note you can give to them for for this field in which you are working.
I would say that there are a lot of opportunities for the young ones, and if an opportunity presents itself, then you should grab it with both hands. My message to the youth or people like me would be that you should stand firm, and you should work with sheer determination, commitment, and will, and you should do it the right way. And I think if you do it the right way, then you are going to end up somewhere. I think that's part of life.
Thank you so much, Hasan, for coming. And thank you so much, viewers and listeners, for watching and listening our show. And we will come back with another exciting episode of Breaking the Barriers. Allah Hafiz, and thank you so much.